She was introduced to many of us on season one of Drag Race Holland, where every week she stunned us with a completely different look. She showed her exotic side during Snatch Game and taught us that she will keep rising in a cosmic dimension. Vroom Vroom Bitches, her name is ChelseaBoy, and she's about to be exposed. Oh, Chelsea, you ready?
Yes. Oh my God, you stole my line. I was gonna say vroom vroom bitches. Now what I gotta say? Hi everyone.
So, Chelsea, I want to tell you that when the Holland promo came out, I went and watched it and I was like, oh my gosh, Chelsea Boy is amazing, fantastic. I go to follow you on Instagram and you're already following me. And I was like, what?
Hello.
So
Hello.
wait, did you know about me before?
Yeah, I think I've been following you for a couple of years and watched your videos with other queens from other seasons, and yeah, yeah.
And now
And yeah,
now and now it's your turn, it's your chance.
yes, I live.
All right, so you were born and raised in Helmand North. Is it Brabant?
Brabants.
Brabant.
Yes.
Okay, so what was baby Chelsea like?
Baby Chelsea was a little flamboyant boy with big dreams, always looking out the window and never paying attention to what the teacher was telling me. Um, and yeah, I was always a dreamer. People would always used to tell me, like, put your feet on the ground, take your hat out of the sky, Cloud9, wherever you are, hello. Yeah, I was always a dreamer, creative kid. I have many different interests, like I still do now. That's why I love drag so much. Um, yeah, I was a vibrant kid, and definitely that sparked um, some pushback from my environment. Helmand is it's a city, but it has a quite of a village mentality. It's not very big. So yeah, for someone like me, I was the only gay in the village already as a little kid. People started calling me gay before I even know what gay meant, and yeah, the classic story of a gay child growing up in a small environment.
So
Yeah.
you say that you grew up in a village. For those of us that are like more in America or somewhere else, what is like the population of a village? Like, what's the population of where you're from?
I believe the population is like 200,000 people,
Okay,
which is yeah, like a small city.
little small city.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
when was the first time that you actually remember like liking a guy?
Oh, great question. I think I was in what's here to be perceived the eighth grade, but I'm not sure how that translates in American school system. But I was 9 years old, I think, and I was really in love with a guy that was in a class below me. And I think at the time I didn't even realize I was in love. It's only when you like turn like 12 years old or something when you start like develop your sexuality, and that I really realized, oh, I don't think I just wanted to be his really good friend. I think I might have been in love with this person. Yeah. So that's, I think that was the first time, and of course, like, yeah, I didn't express it. I remember at a very young age I wanted to send this like Valentine card to a classmate of mine who was a boy, and my mom was like, well, so usually you send Valentine cards to people you're in love with, um so usually girls, but if you really want to send it out, go ahead and do it, you know so whatever feels best for you. And I think I kind of got the idea that it was meant for boys to send to girls. So I was already made aware there that my interest in others is different than the norm. So yeah, I think all queer people experiences where at a very young age we're made already aware of our different place in the world.
So
Yeah.
you end up realizing that you're a little bit different. You said that you have a creative side when you were growing up. And then I read that you were what, 17 when you first started dibbling and dabbling in drag?
Yeah, that's correct. It was actually in my hometown in this like little bar that was a safe space for me. The owner is gay, and that's where I first experienced drag. And then it was something that I did like once a year during Halloween, and we have this like Dutch version of Carnival, which I don't know if you heard about it. It's basically this party. This party where everybody dresses up and in crazy costumes, lots of cultural appropriation. It's amazing. Um, and yeah, so I would used to do this every year during Carnival and Halloween, and then yeah, went into drag more and more, and really discovered that for me, it's a platform that I can use to explore my own gender experience, and that's how I use it basically. Yeah.
Well, speaking of your own gender experience, when researching and looking into you, I've noticed, even your time on the show, you push the gender boundaries. You have very male aesthetic looks, you have very female aesthetic looks, you have alien looks, you have everything like combined. Your creativity to me goes beyond just drag. What inspires you to go beyond just putting on a wig and doing like simple makeup? What makes you want to do better makeup or harder makeup, or like be able to like encapsulate all these different characters?
I think what inspired me to do more than just a regular wig and staple makeup is wearing just a wig and staple makeup. And that's how I realized that that's not for me. And I'm bored. And there's too many lines that I need to stick with that I don't like. Um, so yeah, my drag really doesn't have any rules to it. And that's the way I like to keep it. I like to surprise every time because also my own interests, they really vary from time to time. And like one day I wake up with this butch energy. The other day, I wake up with this like flowy, soft energy. So that's how I dress accordingly, and that's also how what I translate in my drag, and that's how I use drag really to magnify my own gender exploration.
And the name Chelsea Boy, where did that come from?
Well, so as you just described, like there's the masculine, there's the feminine, and I wanted to have those two in the name. Chelsea is the name that my mom would have given me would I been born as a girl. And yeah, so Chelsea Boy is kind of a reference to um, a comic book that I know from the 90s, which is about three gay guys living in Manhattan, New York, in the neighborhood Chelsea. Um, and I'm really fascinated and inspired by American pop culture from a young age already. So I based my name off of that. I thought it was a cute nickname, and why not have this like nickname as a drag performer?
Wow, there you go. I mean, I actually like that a whole lot because it's like it does showcase like the male side, the female side, and you get it both in the name, which does encompass your whole personality. And your looks and your makeup can be so eccentric and so out there and so detailed. Where did you learn your makeup skills from?
Self-taught basically. Like, yeah, every time, the first couple of years you look busted, and the more often you look busted, the better and the faster you improve. That's really how I learned. Looking around, looking at others, um, um, really looking at my own face really well to see what works and what doesn't. And I think that's how I grew with my makeup. And I really treat my face as a canvas. I'm not really this vain person who loves to sit in front of the mirror for hours to just look at myself because I'm so vain. I look at myself more like a canvas, that I like to fill in, like a painting. Very cliche, but that's how I treat my drag.
And that's very apparent, in your drag. And I think that that's really cool that that translates. So, drag actually in Holland what is that like? Is it a big scene? Is it a small, more intricate scene? Like, if you're doing drag in a club, are you frowned upon? Is it positive? What's the energy like?
So drag is really big in Holland, relatively. We're a small country. But the scene concentrates really in Amsterdam, in our capital, and there's amazing queens from all over the country. But usually the big events, we have, for example, Milkshake Festival, which is an all-inclusive festival. Um, where people join and they come for just to express themselves, be themselves, which is a really amazing event. And um, so that's really where the drag concentrates. And I think our own scene, it's a very, very cute and very endearing and very sister-like scene. Everybody's very different. That's also very characteristic of the Amsterdam scene. Everybody's completely different in their aesthetic. But then again, there's so much respect for different types of drag, and that's really what I love so much about the Amsterdam scene.
So it's not like 100 Bianca Del Rios out there.
Oh no 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 no! We just have Cedogene. That's enough.
Now the year is 2020. You're announced as a contestant on Drag Race Holland. Where were you when you got that phone call that you were going to be on the show?
I was on my couch. I was laying on my couch, and I got the phone call, and I have quite a high ceiling, but I think I hit my head against the ceiling for jumping so high. No, I'm exaggerating, but yeah, I was fucking happy, fucking excited. It's something that I didn't look up to as a kid to be like, oh, when I'm gonna be an adult, I want to be on RuPaul's Drag Race. But it's something that I did work for quite some years since I started doing drag, and it's an amazing platform. I really like. I grew in ways that I didn't expect, that I didn't know that I could learn that from drag and with the show. So yeah, I really I come out a new person with so many new skills and interests and friends, and I really grew so much to these girls. They're all like so sweet, so individually talented in different ways, and it's been an amazing experience.
You walk into the workroom and the host of the show is Fred. Now let me ask you, what is the equivalent of Fred? Like, because like for us in America, we don't necessarily know him, we don't know anything about him. Is he kind of like what a RuPaul would be in Holland?
No, no, definitely not. I don't think there's anybody that would resemble what RuPaul means in America. I think Fred is someone who, well, I know Fred to be someone who was in the club kid scene from the Netherlands, like in the 90s, like the entire 90s, early 2000s. He was this like creative, flamboyant club caricature, and um, that's basically where he was raised as a performer and everything. And nowadays he is a TV host, so he's been hosting for I don't know how many years, but I think yeah, quite some years now. He's been hosting shows. He's a stylist, so he has a lot of shows in which he takes on people who look a little underdressed, and he like gets their motivation back. He amps them up, and yeah, gets them going again. So that's what Fred does, and I think he's a very good host. He's very um, uh, looking for my word. Yeah, he really cares about us, and you could tell in any way, like he would always come to us, and he would really want to know what's going on and be invested in us.
That's good. And I think that that is a really big thing, especially about the drag race show as it goes international, finding the right host for the specific regions. Now, you
Absolutely.
walk into this workroom, you say, vroom, vroom, bitches. You are ready to go. You're ready to start your engine. You flip your hair.
Ik ben ChelseaBoy, ik ben 26 jaar. ChelseaBoy is mijn zelfgecreëerde ultieme superheld. ChelseaBoy is mijn panzer, mijn steun en toeverlaat. Vroom Vroom Bitches.
You see
This
your
hair.
that hair right there. Yes. You see your competition. Did you know any of these girls before walking into the workroom?
Yeah, I knew almost all of them. There were two that I just heard of that I didn't meet in person, but all the rest, they're my drag colleagues. I worked with them. So this was very interesting. I was like, oh, I hope this is going to make good television because we all know each other and maybe everybody's going to be so nice to each other. And it's just, there's going to not be enough sensation and drama for the crowd to watch. But I think we got quite a bit of drama for the crowd to watch.
Now, Also, upon watching this, did you guys film this right after or right before COVID had hit?
We actually filmed in August.
That's like the quickest drag race turnaround ever.
I know. So we started filming the like 30th of July, I think. Um, yeah, I think we were in lockdown for 3 months already, and we were doing all of our preparations in full lockdown. Like working together with designers has never been this hard. Like communication all went over the phone. Like I'm looking for this color specifically in this technique, and like you had to like really explain specifically what you would want. And yeah, so we filmed in August. We had all been in lockdown for a couple months, and then we didn't have any human interaction. So basically, we came there and we all ended up in this bubble, in this like pink, in this big pink furry box. Um, where yeah, we were just happy to be among people again. Like we hadn't been among people for a while. So yeah, it was so much fun.
So one thing with the US version is that, they're given a prize of $100,000. The UK version was given a pin. And the Canada version was also 100,000. And then you guys ended up getting a dress. Is there something in your regulations with the television the same way that the UK was, or was there a different reason behind that, do you think?
I'm not sure. I think it's budget. I think the show is the first season, so they first have to see like how is it gonna be for the Dutch public? Is the Dutch public ready for drag? Are they ready to have like 10 drag queens fighting for a crown or fighting regardless on their television screen? And I think that's kind of, yeah, they kind of have to build up the show, see how it goes, before they can pump in that extra money.
And what type of station does this air on where you're from? Is this like a prime time, like a main station, or what is it?
No, it's a on demand service. It's like kind of like a Dutch Netflix.
Cool.
So yeah, yeah, which is a very popular one in the Netherlands. Relatively, a lot of people watch it. So yeah, it's good.
So you end up strutting down the runway week after week. Your mug is always different. You never have anything very similar. Your concepts are creative, they're out of the box completely. Now, let me ask you a question. Do you ever feel like doing such creative and out there concepts sometimes didn't translate to the judges who might have been wanting more of a beauty queen or somebody that had, just like how we had discussed before, just the mug and the wig?
Well, I must say, our concepts were discussed with the producers beforehand, and they would like kind of give us feedback on what they would like to see, and especially me, like, of course, they casted me. I'm coming from the Club Kid community, so they kind of casted me with the way of like, oh, we want you to show like the crazy out of the box concepts, which they really didn't have to tell me because I would anyway. Um, but they really pushed us to dig deeper and dig for an original concept to be very unique. So that's what I did, and so I started listing all the things I thought of first, threw them in the trash, and then started thinking of new ideas. So um, yeah, I really love my concepts myself, and unfortunately the judges didn't always get it. Of course, there's a lot of references to sci-fi movies and
Mhm.
series in there. So yeah, you're either a sci-fi fanatic or you're not, and unfortunately they didn't get it, but a lot of people on the internet did. So
Beyond a lot of people on the internet did.
yeah.
Every single week I was tuning in. I was like, I'm ready to see what Chelsea Boy is gonna pull out, because it was always like everything that you did was so well thought out, and I think that that was such a major thing that a lot of queens struggle with on Drag Race in general, is that when a different concept comes up, no matter what the challenge is, it's like keeping and staying in your lane, and you always just went out of the box and you weren't thinking in that little baby box.
Yeah, and of course, I've seen already like quite some seasons of Drag Race, so you know that for me, as like this crazy out of the box character, there's going to be this moment where they're going to want to see something femme. We all seen Milk's run on Drag Race, and I kind of wanted to prevent that. So I was like, I'm going to give him one crazy look, going to give him another crazy look, then I'm going to give him like full on femme, because they're going to ask for it otherwise. If I give them three crazy looks, they're going to be like, hey, we want to see some like femme looks. So I was like, let's give him that too. So I really went out of my box there as well, like completely two different end. And so that's was for me also very exciting to be doing this femme look. And that was probably my most fun runway as well. I came off that runway with like full of adrenaline. I was like, that was fucking cool, man. Like it was the shit.
Well, another thing that was the shit, while you just go ahead and say it, was your Joe Exotic and Snatch game. I mean, you, like you said, you went from something crazy and then very feminine. And then Joe Exotic comes around and you're like, I'm about to be a dude. I'm going to paint my face. I'm going to look exactly like Joe Exotic. Take on that personality.
That's damn right. And I'll tell you something else. I got the fuck out of there because you know what? Somebody's got to feed these fucking tigers.
It was the only Americanized version of somebody on the Snatch game. What led you to wanting to do Joe?
The show. The show led me to wanting to do Joe. Like, I remember when COVID hit, I just got the call. I was going to be on Drag Race. I remember I didn't get the runway themes or anything yet, but of course, there's going to be a Snatch Game moment. So for the first couple of weeks, I was just like thinking like, what sides of myself do I want to show? Then all of a sudden, this crazy, mad television show comes on. Everybody's talking about it. So I'm like, okay, gotta tune into this. Binge watched the entire thing with my roommates. And I was like, this is like iconic American pop culture in one series. It's like a soap opera. It's a telenovela. So if I'm gonna do a Snatch Game character, like I think it's got to be this guy. It's current. It's something that's been watched globally. So yeah, my second choice would have been this Dutch comedian character from the 80s that not a lot of people in the Netherlands even know. So I think I made a very witty decision of doing Joe.
You made a very witty, a very smart decision. You end up, in my opinion, winning that whole episode. I mean, I don't know why they gave you just the Snatch Game portion. Do you feel like you should have won that whole episode?
I thought I was winning that. Yeah, I thought I was winning that. The other ones, I was like, okay, fair. And this one, I was like, I thought it was, my turn. But it's their vision, and there's nothing I can do about that. I did get the recognition from the crowd, so that's been really amazing. That's so much more valuable to me than what the judges say. Like, I got to show myself on this huge platform, and then afterwards I got to the 6th episode. So whatever the judges really thought of me during that time, I'm not super bothered with that. Right now I have this platform to show myself to the world and be completely free in whatever I want to do, and be appreciated and understood by the right people.
Let me ask you a question, because in that episode it was I don't know what the main challenge was, because or your main runway, sorry. And the reason why is because in America, in translation and also on the screen, there were two different scenarios. So was it half man and half queen, or was it split personality?
It was both.
Okay, so it was both.
It was both. The name of the runway was Split Personality, and the description of the assignment was create a look that is half man, half queen. So I think, Mama Queen and we gave our own interpretation. Was it half queen, half man? I would have still given that same interpretation, because like I said on the episode, I don't look at gender like split in the middle. So that's not something that I would portray. And I think that episode definitely sparked a whole conversation within the whole community. Had that not happened the way it happened, it would have been like, okay, they're non-binary and that's it. Like now it actually sparks a conversation, which I think is a very positive, um, yeah, payout of what happened on that episode. And I think lessons were learned. They're definitely gonna do some stuff differently next time. But yeah, I'm happy it sparked this conversation.
I think that that was a really cool thing just about your appearance in general on the show is that what the judges and the feedback that you necessarily got may not have been the best in that moment, but the interaction in the fans and online has been very, very positive towards everything that you've done. What has that been like getting one set of opinions from the judging panel and then waiting a couple of months, the show comes out, you think, oh crap, the judges didn't like it, the fans may not either, and then the fans are totally opposite.
Yeah, that's been quite something. I would say definitely on the last episode where I kind of started believing that my look was really bad, and then eventually, it turned out that everyone really liked it and loved it. Um, so yeah, that's been something very strange. But on the other hand, with the other concepts, I knew they were good, and I knew that they would be at least understood. Appreciated is always a second thing, but I knew they would be understood, and the right people will find me and let me know. So, yeah.
Well, speaking of that episode, you came out in your Mars Attack runway. I thought it was killer. I thought if it was on the US version that you probably would have won because all we get in the US version is multiple disco outfits all the time. But you come out in this, you have a whole concept. I think, as a lot of people were on the internet, I was gutted when you ended up in the bottom two because I didn't necessarily understand it. But then there was a part of me that wondered this. Do you believe this was my opinion, so if you don't believe it, go ahead. I believe that because some of the other contestants had a mother or father figure, the sympathy story got them further than what their outfits did. Do you think that that could have been the case?
Oh, definitely, for sure. Yeah, that was like 100 the case. Um, I knew it wasn't the look itself that got me there. It was maybe, So they said they didn't see the fun between me and my friend on stage, and which was, yeah, interesting to me because I thought we had so much fun, and we made these like crazy eye movements where we would look each other in the eye and we both like keep ourselves from laughing, and we had the best time. We came off and like high-fived each other, and it was a party. And then to hear like, oh, we didn't see you really have fun, it was like, look again.
Rewatch the tapes.
Exactly.
So you end up showing that runway. The judges are a little bit harsh on you. You end up in the bottom two against Jenny Jacquet. My question for you is, you're doing this lip sync. The worst thing possible happens to you, and
Yeah.
your high beehive wig has to go. What did you feel in that moment? And what pushed you to end up finishing that lip sync?
In that moment, obviously, yeah, I was like, this is it. It's done. It's over. It was already actually when the lip sync started, and I felt like this piece coming loose. I was like, oh, this is not going well. At one point, I feel it like going to the side. I'm like, it's over. This is it. So it's like a fuck moment, But then you're like, am I gonna, just so I know that, just because I know that I'm not gonna win this lip sync, am I just gonna like give it to her and just like do nothing, or am I gonna give them a show? So it was a bit of honor, it was a bit of pride, and it was a little bit of respect towards Janie and the judges and the people watching to just finish that lip sync off like a professional. And yeah, that's what happened in that moment. Like I really did glue that wig down though. But I don't know what happened. It's just like the crazy movement probably. Um, but I bet you that wig is still orbiting about around Mars, honey. Still is.
do
Well,
do you believe if that wouldn't have happened that you would have been in the final?
I don't know if my lip sync would have been better than Janie's had I had my wig on. I'm not sure. Perhaps, yes. Then and then the Maxima challenge, of course, would have come along. So that's another completely different challenge. So it went the way it went. You're as good as your last performance, and for me, it was like it was time. It was time to go. I'm happy. I got a whole vortex of new opportunities laying ahead of me. So I'm very grateful and peaceful and okay with everything that happened that way.
Well, you said it, like the challenge that was coming up was going to be the singing challenge, and I know that you sing. So
Yes.
you were literally right there. What did
Yeah.
that feel like? And are you disappointed at all that you didn't get to showcase your ability to sing throughout the show?
That would have been a fun moment. That would have been a fun challenge. Absolutely. I was kind of waiting for like, oh, when is this like video clip moment coming up where I get to sing? But then I heard that was going to be the Maxima the musical, and I don't think they sang live. So I was like, okay, oh well. But it was really good. I was really entertained watching that.
Now, looking at your whole time on the show, I would like to ask you one question. Do you feel like there was any particular, we won't name names, but do you feel like there was any particular bias towards any specific queens on the show?
I like to believe that there wasn't. I think the fact that Envy Peru, for example, won so many challenges that she's been delivering every week. And unlike in other seasons where sometimes you'd be like, oh, that person already just won 2 episodes in a row, and so she cannot win another one. Why not have a fair judgment and just be like, hey, you're the best again, so we're going to give it to you? I think from their perspective, that was fair judging. That was their opinion in that moment, and I think it was fair.
Now, you get off the show. We're in the middle of a quarantine pandemic still. And I can only imagine that the phones are not ringing off the hook to book somebody for a packed club. How are you dealing with being out of the show? You have this platform, you have everything that you need at your fingertips, but you can't reach it yet because of this pandemic. Is that affecting you in any way?
Absolutely. Like I'm really a performer at heart. That's the thing I love doing most with my drag. So I definitely miss being on stage and having that interaction and that live moment with people. Um, at the same time, this time is very strange for everyone, and it asks for different measures and for us to look at different opportunities and ways of communicating, expressing ourselves. So that's what I've been doing, and so it actually got me to be more focused on making really cool video content. I just started my YouTube channel, so I'll be beaming my new videos into their vortexes very soon. And yeah, making YouTube content. I'm working on still doing photo shoots with new crazy looks. Yeah, just having a ball online. I want to do makeup videos. I want to do like question and answers, interviews like this lovely one with you I'm having. So that's what I'm focused on at the moment.
Do you want to get out, and do you want to be able to travel the world and show ChelseaBoy to the lovely North America?
Yeah. Kind of offended you're even asking. Hell yeah, that's the goal. Of course. I mean, yeah, that would be a dream to travel through the U.S. and travel. I really would love to go to Brazil as well. I love Brazil. Do a UK tour. Do it like wherever they want us. Coming your way. Getting in my spaceship.
Go ahead and go to Mars. I mean, people are about to go to Mars, so why not?
Maybe there's
So,
no COVID. I'll go.
yeah, exactly. Unless you bring it there and then you start it all on that planet.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, one thing that I noticed about the show is that we didn't get to know a lot about a lot of the girls, but especially ChelseaBoy. We didn't get to know a lot about your personal life and who you are as a person. If there is something about you that you wish would have been shown, is there something that you wish America would have seen, like personality wise or who you are as a person?
Well, I am people know me as a little bit more of a reserved person. I'm never the person to step in first with my opinion. I did share a lot of my story, but of course, there's only 15 minutes of material that that's being broadcasted. Um, I did talk about my experience with gender in the past, and that's something that I wish they would have used more. And this is basically the story of me starting drag to explore my feminine sides, because that side of myself was suppressed for all this time as a kid. People, as a kid, they would tell you like, man up, act like a boy. These clothes are for girls. You get these like binary standards by society. So me coming out of the closet and a couple of years in, I just felt the need to really express that femininity. And I think that, for a lot of queer people, or yeah, gay people in my case, it's the case that, you just like want to like explode with that feminine energy, because I had nowhere to go for so long. Um, so and then at the same time later on, I kind of started realizing that besides that feminine energy, there must also probably be some masculine energy within me, that now for the past few years I had been suppressing, because it's like, no, femme, like screaming my femininity up the top of the roofs. And then I was like, oh, wait a minute. So maybe masculinity can mean more than just like heteronormal, macho behavior, and it can actually mean good things. So I started discovering those, and I really used my drag to do that, to put that on the magnifying glass, and just see, lay it all out there and see where it's at. And it's taught me a whole lot about myself and my and the way I look at things.
So, would you say that your drag has helped you learn more about gender and the spectrum of feminine versus masculine energy and like helped you shape you into the person you are today?
Oh, absolutely. ChelseaBoy is my psychiatrist in that sense. Yeah. Like, yeah, any like existential life questions I have, I throw them in my drag, and I will find an answer somehow.
Now, you can't do drag all the time now because of quarantine. So, what are you filling your time with in quarantine right now?
Right now I'm doing photo shoots. I'm working on a very exciting video project. It's a very conceptual, nice art video. And I'm working on music as well. So that's something really exciting.
Oh, wait. What's the vibe? What type of vibe are we going for with this music?
We're going for cosmic, of course.
Yes. Yes.
And yeah, and besides that, I really want to do some online shows. So if anybody has any nice online bookings for me, I'd love to do a number there. And I recently got my merchandise shop online, so we got all these like cute little ChelseaBoy merchandise available for the crowd to strut in while watching Netflix and eating popcorn. But yeah, so If anybody likes those, please go over to xochelseaboy.com. Get your tea today.
Also, Chelsea, do you want to tell them about what's going on, what you and I have concocted?
Yes, absolutely. So, what we're gonna do is I'll be giving out a 5-minute video call with someone selected from who buys my merch, and so go get your merch, and we'll select one person that gets 5 minutes of video call with me.
Yeah, so exactly as Chelsea said. So if you go on to her website, we'll put it right here. Link will be below. And until November 30th, if you buy any piece of merch off of her site, you'll be entered to win a 5-minute video call with ChelseaBoy. You can ask her anything that you are dying to know. You can just chat and tell her she's gorgeous, or maybe you just want her to tell you you're gorgeous for 5 minutes straight. You know, you never know. So enter that. All the rules and everything will be below. But as we're coming to a close, Chelsea, I do want to know, what do you think the biggest misconception of you is?
Oh, what a great question. The biggest misconception about ChelseaBoy. Oh, wow, you're throwing me off. I have no idea, honestly. No, I think people really get me. So, yeah, generally.
The biggest
Not all of them.
misconception about ChelseaBoy is there is no misconception about ChelseaBoy.
Probably, yeah. Yeah, I guess so.
When you put on drag and when you perform, what is the thing that makes you the happiest?
For me, it's interacting, and it's getting people to through me, and by looking me in the eye or seeing me perform, find that resilience and that inner strength, and their stamina to be a powerful person, and to celebrate their own inner strength. That's really what I want to spark with my drag. And if I if I can ever get that across with the crowd I'm performing to, or with someone I'm interacting with, then that makes me the very most happiest person in the world.
I love that. If you could, for one day, put on another drag queen's shoes, past or present, whose shoes would you want to fill and live their life for one day?
God, your question's so deep, honey. I would definitely love to know what it would feel like to be in the shoes of Adore Delano.
Ooh.
She is one of my faves, and I think she's a rock star, and she's a party, and I would really love to be in her shoes for one day.
I think if you're doing music now, we need to link you guys up together. I think a duet would be
Absolutely.
the jam.
Absolutely. Yes. Yes. That would be amazing.
That would be beyond amazing. And I believe your looks, if there was a video, would be amazing. Like the aesthetic of the song, like I think so. So we basically have discussed what you are doing now, but I want to reiterate and ask you one more time, so then that way you can just say all your plans, and if you've forgotten anything, what is next for ChelseaBoy?
What I would love to do is go into the world, explore more about drag, explore more about fashion, about makeup, about music, get to know so many more people, keep learning, keep growing, inspire others to grow and learn as well along the way, and have a fucking blast. That's on the menu.
Have a fucking blast. Love it. Last question for you, ChelseaBoy, is what is the message that you have for the LGBT community? Words of wisdom, positivity.
Yes, words of wisdom, positivity. I really need you to keep believing in yourself, because right now we're at a place where in a lot of places in the world, it's a fucking shit show to be an LGBTQ member. And we need to fight on through, and we need to keep pushing to be seen as valuable people, as equal people. And we cannot give up on that fight. And we need to stand strong, and we need to stop really pointing fingers at each other within our scene, within our community. There's so many forms of beauty, and it's not up to anyone to decide what form of beauty or what form of expression is the only valid one. All of them are valid, and we really need to support each other and support trans people, support non-binary people, support asexual people. You know, like, let's please, if we want to be included in this world, let's include all members of our community first. That this is like, yeah, it's, you know, just so fucking important, guys. Come on, let's do this. Really.
I love that message 100%, because I think that can be a problem, especially in our community. You identify as gay or lesbian or trans or whatever you identify as, and you want to be accepted yourself, but some people have a problem accepting the other letters of the community. And that's a powerful message.
Yeah. Thank you.
Of course. All right, well, thank you so much for being here, Chelsea Boy, and exposing yourself to me. In the meantime, you guys need to go check Chelsea Boy out on all things social. Chelsea, plug yourself. Where can they find you?
You can find me on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Cameo, everywhere. My handle, XOChelseaBoy. My website, XOChelseaBoy.com. Find me on Cameo, Chelsea Boy, everywhere. Go get it. Let's keep on rising to new cosmic dimensions, honey.
Yes, and if you want that cosmic dimension 5-minute video call with Chelsea Boy, make sure you go over to her website, link right here, link below, and buy some merch. If you buy or purchase anything before November 30th, you will be entered to win, and you can get a message from Chelsea Boy. Until next time, I'm Joseph Shepard, and that's the beautiful Chelsea Boy. Bye, guys.
Bye.